Now from the 12 News I-Team, it is the stunning finale to our series, He Made Me Do It, that does a deep dive into a violent armed robbery at a jewelry store in Anthem. The jeweler was shot and hurt, and the two suspects were arrested in California after a wild U-Haul chase. The duo behind it both sentenced to prison in the robbery case, even though Helen Simmons said that Matthew Jones forced her into the crime. The I-Team's Erica Stapleton investigated whether her allegations of abuse and trafficking were ignored. We do want to warn you that details of the story could be troubling for some to watch.
When Helen Simmons and Matthew Jones were first arrested in the U-Haul, Helen said they were on their way to see the ocean at Huntington Beach. She never made it, just like she never made it to ASU, never made it to her journalism classes, never made it to her dream. It all came crashing down.
Nothing good comes out of anything bad, but I think that the legal system has taken action.
But again, she's made these claims of he abused her into it, he abused her after.
Who knows? I can't comment on that. I don't know. It'd be a shame if that's what happened. It really would.
Like the judge basically said, if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't have committed it. Then why is she serving 6 years?
As much as Helen's loved ones and advocates want to see her out of prison, there's a part of Helen that's conflicted.
In some ways it's a good thing because, he's going to be locked up for a long time and he won't be able to hurt anybody else. He won't be able to hurt another woman or another stranger.
I still am planning when I get out and all this is over with, I'm still going to graduate from ASU. I'd like to, I have a lot of plans, I have a lot of dreams and goals, but I want to help other women.
I hope that other women can see this and not feel alone. Maybe they can reach out and get help. Because not a lot of women know how to.
Helen finally got away from Matthew Jones, but she won't get out of prison until 2028.
Incredible reporting. Erica joining me now for the backstory. Erica, there has been so much overwhelming information and items that would really support Helen's claims that she was abused, that she was trafficked. Why wasn't any of that available to her, or why wasn't any of this disclosed during her trial?
Jonathan, it's tough because I feel like what we found in our investigation was that there were these paths to go down where you can either confirm or dispute what Helen was saying there, and they just weren't explored by law enforcement. We uncovered that there were agencies in California and Arizona both involved in this, and we had questions for all of them, but none of them agreed to do an interview with us. So we've looked through the records, and some of those records Helen didn't even have access to until after she was in prison, and we found them and said, hey, what do you think of these? And she's like, I didn't even know there were these cases where I'm labeled as a victim. So there's a lot of questions as to how this unfolded and whether it could have been treated differently, whether the outcome was the same or not, we will never know that.
Resources readily available to her, all of this information that she just did not have access to at all.
No, and when you talk about resources too, I think we learned that she felt that she wasn't, this duality of being a suspect and a victim. She felt that being a suspect in this robbery case, which was of course very significant and impacted so many people, it really overshadowed her claims, which could be a reason why maybe some of them weren't explored fully. But we also learned that maybe, someone who is in a victim position could have access to advocates and resources, and those were things that Helen didn't get to until, way down the line in her case. So there are a lot of things to unpack, and again, that was just a very small snippet of our entire investigation. So I would encourage everyone to go watch, the full series, He Made Me Do It, on 12 News Plus. But I will say too that there are really no winners in this case, really. Everyone's lives changed.
Yes, right. And she's in prison until, you said, 2028.
Yeah, it'll be a long time. He got 30 years, so he has much longer to serve, but that's just how the justice system played out with this one.
Wow, and let's hope that there is some justice for her after she is able to get out. She can start to rebuild her life, and there are other advocates or someone that she will have a support system readily available to her as she moves through this process.
Absolutely.
All right. 12 News I-Team reporter Erica Stapleton, more than an hour worth of investigations as part of this series. A great job, Erica. Thanks so much.